Guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to talk about the most hot topic in the programming world, that is ChatGPT. You guys, everyone is actually talking about it. There's a lot of buzz. People are scared that ChatGPT can steal all the jobs of software programmers. Google is worried that ChatGPT can put them out of business, which is really weird and interesting at the same time. So I wanted to dive deep into it. I wanted to understand that can ChatGPT really replace all the human software programmers? Can it actually put a company like Google, the most powerful search engine, out of business? Is it possible? We are going to find out all about this today in this video. But before I start with the video, guys, just want to request you that if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for future notifications of more such programming and coding related videos, tutorial videos, and the most innovative and new stuff, trends about the tech market. Let's get started now. So basically, guys, first of all, we want to understand what is ChatGPT. So as I have written it, it's a bot who can actually change the world, but it is still a bot, right? It's not an actually human who is chatting with you. It is a chat bot. So just to give you an example, guys, here I have opened an e-commerce website, and you can see that this chat box is nothing but a chat bot, and it has given me certain options, and I can just say I can't log in. If I write it, then this chat bot has got some automated answers feed into it, and it can give me those answers, right? Now if I write something else, then based upon its knowledge, it can actually connect me to a live agent, connect me to an actual human agent if it doesn't understand, right? But if I give it any generic query, so for example, let's say who won the FIFA World Cup, if I just write any generic query, right, then it's just going to give me that I don't get that, you can rephrase the question. So why is that happening? Because this is not a human, right? This is a chatbot. Chatbot doesn't know everything about everything, right? It only has knowledge about the e-commerce website for which it is designed to. Whereas ChatGPT is not a bot which is actually related to a certain thing. It is actually a generic chatbot which can give you answers about everything. Anything you can ask, it can give you that answer. You just have to chat to it like you are chatting to a human. So that is what ChatGPT is all about. So if you actually go to the ChatGPT website, guys, which we are going to go in a minute, you will actually find out the models and a lot of AI stuff which has been used to create this chat bot. But the important thing to understand about ChatGPT is that it is developed by a company called as openAI, and this is the same company which created another chat application called as InstructGPT, right? Now this InstructGPT is actually used to take instructions from the user, and it is used to give them a set of commands to execute that instruction. For example, if I just see here, you can see that in the beginning this chatbot was also giving me certain instructions, right? So one of the instruction I just typed in that I can't log in, so it just gave me an answer, like a set of answers, like, okay, do you need help with your email, do you need help with your password, so and so, etc and etc, right? So this was InstructGPT sort of model, that you were giving it a certain instruction and it was giving you answers to that. Obviously that instruction was it could have been anything in the world. But with ChatGPT, it gives you more humanized version. Like you won't feel like you're just commanding something to do something. It would feel like you're just asking a question to some human, and they are like helping you with it. Now I think I've talked a lot about it. So let's jump to the ChatGPT's website, and you can see that this is ChatGPT website, and you will get a button here called as try ChatGPT. So if I just click on the try ChatGPT, it is going to redirect me, and I have been successfully redirected. For you guys, it will ask you to log in. You can obviously log in using your Google credentials, or you can sign up, right? So once you land on this, you can see that all my previous chats are also saved here. So I can just click on them and I can see what I was typing. So I was just asking the sum of 5 and 10, and you can see that the ChatGPT actually gave me an answer that the sum of 5 and 10 is 15, right? Now you can obviously do a new chat. For example, if I just say here hello, you can just write a basic greeting. So if I just say hello, then it can give you an answer. Now if I write here that who won the FIFA World Cup, let's say what answer I get. So you can see that this is one of the major limitation of ChatGPT, that although it is a model which has been highly trained over a humongous amount of data set, it has only been trained up to the year 2021. So we all know that Argentina won the FIFA World Cup just now, but ChatGPT doesn't know it because ChatGPT has only been trained until 2021. Okay, so if I write here who won the FIFA World Cup in 2018, then it's going to give me that the FIFA World Cup was held in Russia and the winner was France. So you can see that this is one of the major limitation of ChatGPT. So I think the first question which you were asking, that can ChatGPT actually replace Google as a search engine? Then the answer is absolutely no, because it is not the most updated. But can it actually reach there? Maybe in the future. Yes, once you train it with the real-time data and you continue that, it can. Now another thing which we were kind of worried about is, can ChatGPT actually write code for us? So I've got this question called as to-sum. So I'm just gonna copy this to-sum problem. I'm just gonna go here and I'm going to paste this, and you will see that ChatGPT actually will start writing code. You can see that already it is explaining me the solution, that is the brute force approach of the to-sum problem. And if you want to actually solve that problem using one of my videos, you can go to my playlist and you can find it easily. And this is pretty amazing, right? Because we have seen bots before. We have seen the most advanced of programs running, AI running, but I don't think that I have ever seen someone which is writing code for us, and that too in such a humanized way. You can see that it is not just giving me an answer right over my face. You will actually get this typing effect. So like someone is actually typing. It gave me a brute force approach, then it gave me an optimized approach, it gave me the time complexity and everything, right? Obviously it has been trained on a data set. So if I give it a problem which, let's say, I have never seen before or someone has never seen before, I'm not sure if it will solve it correctly. Maybe it won't. So we can try that out as well. So if I say this and I change it a bit, and so you may not, so let's say you may use the same element twice. So if I change the problem statement a bit, then it can, you can see that it is actually doing the changes as well. Here it's not using the hash map approach, it is simply using the for loop, because you can use the same element number of times, so you don't need a hash map to find out the number is unique. So yes, it does make a couple of changes, but if I find out a problem which has not been stored in lead code, which it has never seen before, I still don't think that ChatGPT will solve it, because it has been trained on supervised learning. It has already seen a question once and then it can solve it. If it has not seen that question, it might not be able to solve it, right? So that is also answering one of the questions, that can ChatGPT actually replace software engineers? Then the answer doesn't seem that quite right. I still don't think that it can actually replace the actual software engineers. But the problem, we still need to talk a lot about ChatGPT, right? We still need to understand that it is doing so amazing stuff. How is it able to do this? How is it actually able to perform so brilliantly and answer all our questions? And the reason lies in 3 steps, right? So there is a 3-step process OpenAI team has done to train ChatGPT model. And we are going to go all through those steps. So the first step is obviously they are using a supervised learning approach for their reinforcement learning. And in that, the first step is that they have taken a huge amount of data set, right? Now they just take a query prompt from that data set. Let's say the query prompt is explain the reinforcement learning to a 6-year-old. Now there is a labeler. Now this labeler is actually a human. This is not a bot, not a program, not a model. This is actually a human AI trainer who takes that prompt and actually gives the answer. So let's say I am the trainer. In my own ways, in my own layman terms, I will write out the answer to this question, which is explaining the reinforcement learning to a 6-year-old, right? Now that data is now used to train the model, right? So now they are taking this input, taking this output, and then they are training the model, which is nothing but supervised learning, right? The step 2 is comparison data and training a reward model. So I am not the only AI trainer in this whole company, right? There are like 10 trainers there. All of them are taking the same prompt. All of them are giving the answer to the same prompt. Let's say there are 4 people, A, B, C, and D. All of them gave the answer to the same prompt. Now there is another AI trainer, another human, another AI trainer who actually ranks those answers. So let's say A said something, B said something, and C and D. So this labeler is going to, on the basis of his understanding, he's going to think that yes, D is the most best suitable answer for this question, C is the second best, A is the third best, and B is the least best answer for this particular solution, for this particular problem. Now based on this ranking, a reward model is generated. Now what is this reward model? This reward model basically is going to give reward points to all the answers to a particular input, right? So what's gonna happen is that the answer which is the best answer is going to get the most rewards. The answer which is the second best will get the lesser reward, so and so. So now this data is going to train our reward model. The last step is optimize a policy against the reward model using the PPO reinforcement learning algorithm. So I know I have read this whole term a little bit faster, but I'll explain you. So you don't really have to go into what is a PPO model. PPO model is proximal policy optimization model, but just think of it like this, right? For example, now I have my reward model, right? I have got a mechanism which can actually rate my answers. This PPO model is nothing but a normal model which is actually taking an input and it is giving an output. So this PPO model takes the prompt, let's say write a story about otters. Then it writes a story about otters. It gives us an output. The reward model now takes that output and it generates a reward for that. So let's say the reward model thinks that this output is not good enough, so it doesn't give it as a bigger reward. Then the PPO model thinks that okay, I got a lesser reward, can I improve myself? It improves itself. It regenerates other outputs, and the reward model now says that yes, this output is better than the previous one, so it gives us higher reward. So by repeating all this process, finally the PPO model is able to generate an output which has got the maximum reward. That means it's the best suitable answer. So by using these steps, finally ChatGPT is able to perform the best, and it is able to give us the answers to almost every query in the world. Okay, but are there any limitations to ChatGPT? I think we just saw a lot of limitations to ChatGPT, that it is not trained on the real-time data. We also saw that if you change the questions a bit, it does change the answers, sometimes in a good way, but sometimes not in the best way. But yeah, the one of the first limitation is some nonsensical answers, right? So I'll give you an example. If I just write here, who is the president of America? So you can see that if I just write here, who is the president of America, it says that my training data is only until 2021, so I cannot answer this question, which is pretty bizarre because Joe Biden has been president in 2021 as well. So yeah, sometimes it just gives you nonsensical answers, and if you do a slight tweak in the query, it will give you a different response. So if I just write who is the president of America, and if I just write who is the president of France, then you will see that it gives me the answer. So which is pretty weird because for America it was not giving me the answer, but for France it gives me the answer. So yes, there are certain limitations of ChatGPT. Then it overuses certain phrases. So yes, that is true because if I just write here who is Lionel Messi, you will see that it will just start writing paragraphs about football, soccer, and obviously Lionel Messi as well. But if I just type the similar question like who is the captain of Argentina, right? Then it will give me the similar answer. It will give me Lionel Messi and his history as well. So yes, because there is a certain reason for it, right? There are certain prompts and they are all trained on the similar training data. Similar people are answering questions on them. So yes, it will overuse certain phrases, right? Now, instead of asking for clarification, the model actually guesses the answer. That is really one of the more major drawback. Like, for example, if I just write here who is the captain of India, right? Now, if I just write here who is the captain of India, you can see that it assumes that I am talking about the cricket team. A best model should have asked me that are you talking about the cricket team? You're talking about the hockey team, the football team? No. It just assumes I'm talking about the cricket team and it just gives me the answers, which is absolutely not correct. And the model can respond sometimes to inappropriate queries or harmful content, which is actually a really big limitation of ChatGPT. One thing to notice is that ChatGPT has been guided by moderation API. What is a moderation API? Guys, moderation API is an API which can actually block offensive queries or harmful content, and even if you write something which is not appropriate, ChatGPT can handle those queries in a graceful way and can actually guide you not to do certain type of behavior which is not recommended. So yes, ChatGPT has a level of humanity in a certain way, but it cannot still handle all type of queries, right? It cannot still avoid all type of offensive queries. Sometimes it can still respond. So that is one of the limitation which OpenAI has been trying to improve. But yeah, it is still a much more better version. Better version than what, right? Like I have been talking that ChatGPT is much better, but it is actually better than InstructGPT. What is InstructGPT? So as I told you that OpenAI is a company, right? It's a company which builds AI tools. One of the first tools that OpenAI built was InstructGPT. Now this InstructGPT was also a chatbot, just like ChatGPT. InstructGPT was actually just taking instructions, and whatever you tell it to do, it is going to give you, the answer in a certain format. Whereas ChatGPT is like more humanized. It will give you a background. Like for example, if I just write who is Lionel Messi, then ChatGPT gives us the whole background of Lionel Messi, who he was, when he was born, which team he is playing for, etc., etc., so and so. Whereas InstructGPT more or less gives us like to the point answers, and if you just write explain reinforcement learning, so it's just going to give you steps of reinforcement learning without explaining the background of it a little bit more in a humanized way. But the main difference is that InstructGPT didn't have any knowledge of what is an offensive content or a harmful content and what is the best behavior to be in the public. So it was not humanized the way ChatGPT is. For example, on InstructGPT, if you write a query like how can I bully John Doe, it will actually give you there are few ways to bully John Doe and generate suggestions. Whereas ChatGPT will actually give you that it's not okay to bully someone, it's a serious problem, it can have effects, and so and so. ChatGPT is much more advanced in that way. It is much more humanized, and that's why I think it's a major uh, achievement by OpenAI team to create a tool like ChatGPT. Okay, and now the really interesting part of ChatGPT, guys, that you can actually win money from it. So ChatGPT team has actually created a contest which is called as a feedback contest, in which you can earn up to $500 in OpenAI API credits by only submitting a feedback form. So if you go to their website, guys, which I'm just gonna go in a minute, and you just search feedback, and you will get a feedback contest form. You just click on it, guys, and it will give you all the official rules. Just remember that the last day of submitting this feedback is 31st December 2022, and there are certain rules, there are certain judging criteria which you can definitely read here, that can help ChatGPT to improve themselves. But if one of your entries gets selected, then you will earn a lot of money in API credits. So isn't this exciting, guys? I think it is definitely worth trying for. So that was my video about ChatGPT, guys. I do not think that it is ready to replace something called as Google. I don't think it can steal our jobs. So I don't think we need to be afraid of it. But we actually should cherish these type of innovations and advancements in technology. They can actually help us, and they can actually help us improve for the future. So thank you so much for watching my video, guys. If you did like this video, then do not forget to like it and share it with your friend. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon for future notifications. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback for me, please do write in the feedback section, in the comment section below. I would be really happy to read it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and bye bye.